Bobby, how are you? It's Chris Towns, and welcome to A's Cast Live. How are you?
Good, Tony. How you doing?
We're doing great, and you know what it's like to you make your debut. How about, I don't know if you got to see Cal Stevens' debut, but he's from Fremont, just south of Oakland. His whole family was there. They had a whole sign that spelled out his name, and in his second at-bat, he gets that base hit, and then no longer are you chasing that. Just if you remember back what that moment was like for you.
Yeah, it was incredible. I actually had to wait a whole offseason to get my first hit. When I got called up in September, I went 0 for 12.
Oh.
So, I had to wait the whole offseason. The second game of the year, I got my first hit. So, yeah, it was a little bit tougher for me having to wait so long. But, it's always fun to kind of see guys get out of the way and go out and play.
Yeah, and just talk about at this time with this organization where we've been talking about it, whether it's this show or I've been talking about on the post-game show. Oakland is the land of opportunity. If you're a young player, you've been drafted by the A's, or you come over in one of these trades, whether it's for Chapman, Olson, Montas, whatever the trade, we just saw it with Cal. We just saw it with J.P. Sears taking them out. We've seen it with Zach Logue earlier. Just talk about how coming here, whether they're going to play for you or Fran Reardon at AAA, man, you got a chance to make the big leagues.
Yeah, I mean, these guys know it. They know they have an opportunity. Jonah Bride started with me here, and he's been up there for a couple months now. The guys that are in this clubhouse, they know that it's a good spot to be. If they perform, next thing you know, they could be up with Fran in AAA, and they do well there, and they're up. So it's for a young player or a guy who maybe has even been around a little bit. They know they can get an opportunity in the big leagues, and it's a good spot for them to be and showcase what they got. So the players are aware of it. We're aware of it. And they have to be happy with the A's right now.
And I got to think about your ball club. A lot of people are talking about players down there, and they're the names that we keep looking at and we know are part of the future. Just how is everything going in Midland?
It's awesome. We're having a great second half in first place by a couple games. So we're doing well. I mean, we have a slew of talent here. I mean, every night I have 5 guys on the bench that should be starting somewhere. So that's making my job a little bit difficult, but it's a good problem to have. But when you have Geloff and Diaz and Soderstrom in the lineup every night, it's pretty fun to watch. And you get, talent with Ginn and Criswell and Hogan Harris, Cushing when they're on the mound. We're in a good place. So we're playing well, hoping to keep it going and get a few more wins and win the division.
So we went, what was that? Was that last year or was it 2 years ago we saw Geloff, Cody?
It was last year.
It was last year we went to a San Jose Giants game because it's just down the street from our house. And to see Geloff, and you looked at him, you went, yep, he looks the part.
Yeah.
Big dude, power, agility. I mean, kind of had like, and I know this is not fair, but kind of has that Mike Schmidt build with the athleticism and the size and the arm. Just talk about, this third baseman out of Virginia, and what do you think? How do you view him as a big leaguer?
I mean, he can play third. He can play second. His bat, he can hit it to all fields and all field with power. He's a complete hitter. He's not just a pull guy with power. He went out the other night to right center here in Tulsa. He takes good at bats. He takes what they give him. But most importantly for me is his mental game. The guy thinks he's a big leaguer now. He prepares himself like a big leaguer. He's a clubhouse leader, and he's one of the younger guys in the clubhouse. But guys kind of gravitate towards him, want to be around him, hang out with him. So he's a guy that guys kind of turn to, and at a young age for him to do that now, it's pretty impressive.
That's interesting. He prepares like a big leaguer, like he knows how to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're a big leaguer. Were you like that? I mean, how do you get to be like that?
I don't know. I don't know if it's innate or the upbringing. I'm not sure how he got to that point. From when I first met him, he kind of had that swagger about him, had a focus and a vision. And he's here. He knows he's here to play, but at the same time, he has bigger goals. He's not just happy doing well here. He wants to go up there and lead up there. I know as soon as he gets to the big leagues, he's not going to be a guy who kind of just falls in line. He'll be a guy who wants to lead and be a part of the core group there for a long time. So I don't know how he developed that, but the fact that it's there is a beautiful thing, and he's going to be a leader in that clubhouse for a long time for sure.
Yeah, and I think about Soderstrom. I mean, this kid has been bred to be a ball player. I mean, I got to play against his dad in college. His dad was such a star at Fresno State, and then went on to play for the Giants. And they've had that baseball clinic there in Central California. This guy's grown up around such tremendous talent and players. He's been playing against kids above his age and working out with them. He's like a prodigy. I mean, do you view him as the same? And my God, he's so young too.
Yeah, he has a different personality than Zach. Zach's a little bit more outspoken. Tyler's only been here for a week now, a week and a half. He kind of goes about his business in a more quiet way. But from the first time I saw him at the alternate site when he first got drafted to now, he's already grown up mentally. His swing is it's perfect. We were talking about on the bench. I don't know if you would want to. If you were to construct a swing, you'd probably look at his. I mean, there's really no flaws in it. And he played some first. He's catching for us. He looks great. So, he's a different type of guy than Zach as far as mentality, but they both have that goal and that vision. And this is just kind of a stop for them. They both know they're going to be in the big leagues. So having both those guys in the lineup is pretty special.
We just had David Forst on the program doing the general manager show. And I said, all right, give us here down the stretch, because we're all following it. We're all looking at your guys' box scores. And I said, give me guys to look at. Give me guys to, who can help that we could see, okay, I'm going to watch this guy, but then at spring training next year, he could be in Oakland. So he talked Geloff, of course, Sodi, of course, but he mentioned who you mentioned, Jordan Diaz. He said he's one of the guys that could make the jump sooner or later. Give us a scouting report there.
The scouting report is he rakes. I mean, from day one. I mean, maybe he had the first 2 weeks he struggled a little bit. Ever since then, he gets up there and he hits. He's not the most patient guy. He's going to have to work on that a little bit as far as getting some walks. But he sees the ball and he crushes it. He has a great ability to put the barrel on the ball, and even if he's fooled, he keeps his hands back. He's a guy like Geloff who can hit it to all fields. He's not just a pull guy. He has power to all fields, knows his swing. He does know the strike zone, but he's a guy who's up there and he wants to hit. He sees a ball that's in the middle of the zone and he has a good ability to put the bat on it. He does it. So, we've been playing him at first a little bit. I think that's where he's going to end up. He still has a little bit of work to do there, but his work ethic has been great this year. So, but the bat's going to play. The bat's really good.
Last time we talked to Criswell was when he was drafted. He was in the backyard at the draft party with his coach from the University of Michigan. And, was so excited to be drafted, and decent-sized kid, throws hard. And we've kind of been tracking with him because, we had him on video. It's great to have him on the show, right? So how is the big right-hander doing? He's
doing great. He's got some confidence, that's for sure. That's what I like about him the most. He's not scared of anybody, any team, anybody he faces. He's like another guy on this team. Well, we got a lot of them, I guess, that know they're going to be big leaguers. We go over scouting reports before the game, and there isn't anybody that he goes, I don't want to shy away from this guy or be careful. He goes after guys. His stuff has been really good, and every time he goes out, he's going to compete. So he's another guy that A's fans should be looking for, that he's going to keep getting better.
I think we just put Keith Lipman in the A's Hall of Fame, and 52 years of being a guy not about himself, about everybody else, about helping players, coaches, managers, front office people. He's been a mentor. He's been everything to everybody, but it was always about not him. It was about everybody else. And I think about the opportunity you have, which is so unique, because, we look at you and we go, Rookie of the Year, big league shortstop, your career, and now you're managing. How grateful are you for this opportunity to be able to take everything that you learned and everything that you've done, and now your job is to help these guys reach their dreams. You've gotten your dreams. Now you're there to help them reach theirs.
Great point. And going back to Lip is the best. A lot of the stuff I do now is stuff I learned from Lip, as far as teaching and leading by example and being a leader. But I feel so fortunate. Like I said, like you said, I had my time to play. I had my time to shine. and now it's these guys. And to be able to watch them through their career and be able to talk to them and go, hey, I dealt with what you're dealing with. I've been in your shoes, and now this is going to be your path a little bit. And to see them kind of take that advice and continue on and get better, for me, it's 100 times better than playing. I love playing ball, but coaching and being able to make other guys better, I'm in a good place. I'm a happy man.
Well, and they always talk about catchers make the best managers. It's catchers this, catchers that. What about shortstops? Shortstops, you're right in this too. I mean, as much as the catcher's calling pitches, as a shortstop, you're aligning the defense. You're seeing every pitch. You're right in that pitcher-catcher relationship almost, because you're looking right over the pitcher's shoulder. Why do we not have more shortstops as managers?
I don't know. I mean, I grew up in a baseball family. My dad played. I was always a student of the game. I always wanted to know where everybody else should be. I knew where I was supposed to be, but I want to know this guy should be here. Okay, what pitch is he throwing here? Why is he throwing? Okay, when are we going to pick off this guy? Is this guy going to steal here? I've always been a student of the game. Love the little nuances. I think some guys go out there and they play baseball and they're just playing. They're good at it and they know where they should be. And I think other guys really study the game and study what happens in the game in different situations. And when do you put the infield here and what's the spot to walk a guy here? And that's the part of the game I've always loved. Playing was great, but the mental side is something I've always dove into and have a lot of fun with. So for me, it's a good fit.
One thing that I'm not so sure about this, I want to get the answer from you, but something that is a skill that can't be easy, but it's to get the trust of your players, for them to understand what you're trying to do is what's best for them. Even if they don't like it, you're trying to help them get to the big leagues. And there may be conversations they don't like. There's maybe positions they don't like. There may be places in the batting order they don't like. But what is that like, those conversations, when you're trying to gain the trust of your players to be like, dude, I'm trying to help you as much as I possibly can, because not everybody gets that.
Yeah, and like I talked about before, it goes back to Lip and how much he cared about guys. I think the players genuinely know that I truly care about them. I hope if you asked any of the guys, they would say that I truly care about their career and where it's going. So for me, it hasn't been, if a player knows I'm going up and talking to him, he knows I'm going to try to help him. He knows I want what's best for him. And for me, that's a big thing. So I can have any conversation I want with the guy, whether it's me getting on him or me being his buddy or whatever it is. He knows that I have his best interest at heart. And if they truly feel that, then they'll accept whatever I have to give them. And I think that's where this team's at, and so far how I've tried to manage.
Yeah, I think, you look at playing baseball the A's way. And I know years ago there was the Oriole way and the Dodger way. I just know all these years, the A's way is, hey, it's 27 outs. You're playing hard. Doesn't matter what the record is. Doesn't matter what the score is. Bob Melvin preached that. We heard Mark Kotze really preaching it down at Ho-Ho Cam. You came up in this. Just talk about what your view is of what the A's way is to play baseball.
For me, it's being a grinder. It's every at bat. It's every pitch. If you strike out and there's a ball in dirt, I expect you to run it out. If you hit a pop-up, I expect you to run it out. I expect you to know the situations. I expect you to be a good teammate. I expect you to pick up each other on and off the field, care about each other, love each other. But playing the game, I expect you to play hard. You have control over that. You don't have control over if you go for 4, 0 for 5, whatever that is. But you have control over your hustle. You have control over your effort. You have control over if you're showing up another team, another player. I expect these guys to play what I believe is the right way. And that's a little bit, I guess, more old school than how baseball is now at times. But I expect our guys to bust their butts and do the things that they have control over, because baseball is hard, but you can control the small things and being prepared and working hard.
Yeah, people forget this game is really hard.
Oh, yeah.
It's not easy. Joey Votto last night, I don't know if you got to see that, but Joey Votto was mic'd up at first base, and it's pretty interesting. This guy is a potential Hall of Famer, and he's talking to John Smoltz while he's playing first base, talking to John Smoltz, who is a Hall of Famer, and they were just talking about velocity difference. And And, because of when Votto came up to what it is now. And he's like, if you can't time a fastball and can't lay off a breaking ball, you're done. That's just how difference from 95 to now you got guys hitting 102 to 100, consistently 98, 99. And it's like, listen to Votto, and he's just talking about, a lot of people just don't realize just how hard it is to play the game. It's
extremely difficult. I see guys now watch games and see guys with the movement they have on 99, 100, and the ball's two seaming. It's insane. They definitely didn't have that even 10, 15 years ago when I was playing. So, the rise in talent is definitely getting there. And even in AA here, we're facing guys on a nightly basis that are throwing 97, 98. We're playing Tulsa right now, and every one of their starters is throwing 95, 96 plus, and then they have guys throwing 100. And so they're, at this level, they're learning how to deal with that and learning how to deal with failure. A lot of these guys still haven't, you can get through low A, high A without really having to fail too much. And now you get here and you have to deal with failure, and it's difficult, but it's extremely hard, and guys, will handle it their own way, but they're going to have to handle it at some point and make the adjustment.
Yeah. When you're in AA, you can see the big leagues because you can move from AA to the big leagues. I mean, this is legit. You get to AA, AAA, but AA, great young talent, and the big leagues, you can move up, and who knows, we'll see what happens the rest of the way here. Just for you as a manager, now that you've been doing it, what have you learned? And I think also that coaching for everybody at the alternate site, and I know Fran Reardon ran that, but it was like that was intense coaching, getting everybody sharpening your skills once again as a coach. But what do you think you have learned and how you have grown as a manager?
Dealing with people better, dealing with players better. Little nuances of the game I've learned from Fran. I've learned from Ed Sprague. I've learned from Grady Fuson, Keith Lipman. I pick all their brains. Coming in as a player, starting out coaching, you're a little raw. You played, but there's a lot of different things that go on. So I learn on a daily basis from my own staff, situations and personalities. Every day we come in, it seems that a new guy has a new issue, whether it be good or bad. So it's learning how to handle different situations and different times in the game that you always kind of run across something that's new. So I still have more to learn, but I'm always willing, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, that's why when you hear a guy as a manager, you're managing a team, and that means you're managing human beings. Yeah. And human beings, things happen on the field in between the lines, and they're human beings, and stuff's happening to them outside the lines, away from the field. You have to manage the people. That's what, whenever I've heard all this, well, it's all about the analytics. And it's like, no. Somebody's got to sit, at the front of the plane, the front of the bus. Someone's got to lead the charge, and someone has to manage the people because there's a lot going on because you're not dealing with robots. You're dealing with human beings.
To me, that's the biggest thing. I can go out and manage a game and win, lose, or guys play great or don't play well, and so be it. But that's the biggest thing. And that's where developing these relationships with the guys in here. And like I said, knowing that, they can have my trust and I trust in them, and I'm an open book and they're an open book with me. And we have that open relationship where we can tell each other anything, whether it be good or bad, dealing with something off the field. And most of the time, there isn't really a guy in the clubhouse that hasn't come up to me with something that's going on off the field. People get to see these guys play and enjoy watching them play, but it's real life too. They're away from their family, they're away from their friends. Real life situations happen, and how to deal with that can be difficult at times. But they teach me as much as I teach them, and I'm loving it. And we do have a good time, but we celebrate the good times, but we're also there for guys that struggle or having a hard time at times.
Well, I'll tell you what, A's fans love you, and it's great having you on the program. It's great seeing you. Good luck the rest of the season. Let's chat again soon, because obviously down there you've got some very important guys. You got the future of the Oakland A's sitting on that ball club.
I'm happy to have the future. It's good. We have a good team, and they play the game right, so we're going to try to do what we can. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Take care, and you be well.
Will too. You too.